All right, just need a second here for uh, both streams to be up and running. And then we'll go over the market, go over today's plays. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for May 25th, 2021. SPY down 0.2, Qs basically flat on the day here. Okay. We did gap up a little bit. Okay, I was saying if we gap up, probably going to get sold initially, but it wasn't kind of as clear or didn't have as much conviction about it as we did kind of last time, because last time we were more extended. We had a bigger move prior to the gap up right in here. This was the gap up that we got last time. And so today we got a kind of similar one, right? Pullback, or we got the gap up and then we just pulled back from there, and then now kind of basing a little bit. Okay. So today's price action doesn't change anything. Okay. We could still pull in a little bit more. We're still above the 20 MA here on the Qs. SPY also above the 20 MA. Not that far off of all-time highs. Okay, so we're still bullish, but you can see the move that we've had, right, off of this pivot here. Up, 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 up. So, we may be starting a pullback, and we still could come in a little bit more, especially on the Qs here. And then once we get the buy set up, then the buy setup will be our next kind of reference point to see if this hourly wants to continue. Okay, so going into tomorrow, still bullish, right? But I need the buy setup. That'll give me some indication if we are going to potentially either go into some sideways price action or even like a short-term downtrend. Anything that changes, our current momentum. Okay? All right, so still bullish going into tomorrow. All right, let's go over the plays from today. First thing mentioned was the Tiger on the opening. You could do it as a 2-minute 1, 2, 3 or 1-minute breakout here. This one I missed. I did give it to you in the room, and I usually am good about getting this stuff for myself as well, and then giving it to the room. Today I put it out in the room, kind of missed it. It was because I miscalculated the stop, so I had to make that adjustment, and then by that time I kind of missed it. Now, to be fair, if I would have played this, I don't think I would have made that much on it. You can see it came all the way back down, so I probably would have gotten less than half out up here. It was a decent sized stop, but then it would have come all the way back down to, well, let's see here. I don't think it took out the stop. Under 19 is what I was thinking. Maybe it did. Okay. It never broke 19. Okay. Then it would have closed break even, I guess, at the end there. Anyway, I missed it. That's why I'm not too familiar with how the management played out on this. So that one I missed. The next play that set up was the VKTX. Really like this daily. Breaking underneath the base. This is the weekly. Here's the daily. Breaking under there. This was really good. The only problem was it seemed just a little bit on the thin side, a little bit spotty, even though today should be a big volume day for this. You can see there's just a little bit of kind of like spottiness here. Like there's like just not trading that fluidly. So a little bit jumpy. Here's some more kind of blank space in between here. Don't like to see that too much. But this would have worked really well on the VKTX. Okay, so it started off the day. It kind of felt like I had to wait a little bit to get my play. Then coming out of lunch, the DY was the only thing it gave you numbers for to play as a breakdown. I really like this gap, even though I had 20 cents spread. It was just because the gap was so good that I wanted to play this. And then EXEL was okay. I just didn't like the support there on the daily. Here's the sell setup that it did. Sell setup. And then set up the base and then break down from there. Okay. So what's interesting, I think, about all these plays, and SBL LK was okay too. Nice follow through there at the end. What's interesting about all these plays is that I thought that it really came down to how well did you manage. Okay. And if you know me, and I like to stick with the play as long as the trend is intact, which is not always easy. So what I do to kind of make things simpler, to make myself a little bit more patient. So I like to go hourly bar by bar. Okay. Now, if it's up an hour, 2 hours, I'll take some and then manage the rest, either the back half or the runner, right? Hourly bar by bar. Now, if you look at all these plays here, EXEL, the SBLK, a little bit less so. This one, if you got it in the morning, might have gotten shaken out right there. But then also the VKTX. Okay, VKTX. Now, yesterday we played the Wish. Wish is eventually, some of them will get you out. Like this one here on the Wish tagged us out right there. Okay, so we were in it from the morning. And then, but actually this exit was about the same as our first exit. A little over an hour on the first exit. So, stuck with it and wasn't really punished for it. So the DY today was good because look, closed at the lows, right? DY. VKTX did get a bounce there. So if you're really trying to stick with this until the end of the day, it did get a little bit of a bounce. But I mean, even if it closes, you're getting out at 520 or 524. We're talking about a play under 550 with a 9-cent stop. So we're talking about something that already worked for like 3 Rs here or like 4 Rs down there. So even 3 Rs on the final piece, right? Which is a better exit than what probably a lot of people who played this are going to get anyway. A lot of people are going to get out here and here. Okay, so so I thought that today's plays, there weren't a lot of them, but if you did well today, I think it really came down to your management. Okay, I don't think they were necessarily easy, which is why I think you want to have rules in place, right? And you want to know kind of what your management approach is going to be, because that's especially when it's not easy. When it's easy, and let's say something just let me see. Was the Wish pretty easy yesterday? I think Wish was pretty easy yesterday. When it just goes and goes and then goes and goes, right? These are harder to mess up, right? It's something like, I think the EXEL, with all these, tails and whippiness, if you don't really have a management plan, you're going to be kind of constantly debating whether to jump out or trail real tight, right? And, so it's good to have a plan in place so you can kind of track its performance and then see if you need to make adjustments, right? Because if you're doing kind of random stuff with every trade on when you get in, when you get out, you're not going to be able objectively to evaluate should you be managing looser or tighter, right? So there just isn't going to be a management style that's going to get you the most out of every play, although that's what we all want. It is asking also a lot of yourself to say, well, I'm going to do it in a case-by-case basis. That's a lot of pressure to put on every single trade, and you at every single moment that you're in a trade or even in multiple trades, right? That's going to be really difficult. So so I thought that today really came down to being selective with the plays, but then also did you manage well? Okay, because I don't think that a lot of them were just like, trigger and then run away. Although SBLK a little bit, but for the most part, some of them gave you a little bit of a hard time. I think even on the DY, when it triggered right here, right, and then it bounced first, then came back, and then bounced again, right? And so that's something that you're like, if you're not comfortable, you're gonna think, it's not gonna go down anymore because this, two bottoming tails, that's really bullish, right? So that's the thing you don't want to be doing, where you're kind of trying to manage on the fly and then make those kind of decisions, right? Okay. All right. Hope you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.